Good afternoon. This is Reading for Charity again. Today, Dreams of Steel. Dreams of Steel by Glenn Cook. Actually, this is a slightly different cover. I didn't realise the cover was slightly different. I thought I got the same cover. I usually try to. Okay, anyway. Dreams of Steel. Dreams of Steel is the 5th novel in the Black Company. And it's Black Company in name only at this point, because the Black Company just doesn't exist in this book. It's not anything to do with the Black Company. This book is the Lady and Croker rom-com without the com. It's soap opera at best. It's definitely soap opera time now. The Black Company is, at the end of the last book, what was it, Shadow Games? The Black Company was basically broken. There was sod all of them left. The Lady and Croker kind of basically escaped in two opposite directions, and this book follows the paths between the two of them as they kind of wind back towards them. Now, up until this point, I've really enjoyed the Glenn Cook books. I think they've been excellent. I think they've been the correct length, which I think has been one of my major plus points of the Glenn Cook books, is that they're not long. He doesn't outstay his welcome with a story, and this works in a good way for this book, because this one isn't very good. It's really not very good. He's written the novels in such a way in that the Taken are so important and powerful and OTT that, and the lady being wrapped up in that, that he's now sitting with the lady and Soulcatcher basically being, because they're sisters and they have the sisterly rivalry, and Soulcatcher has Croker because she knows that having Croker will hurt the lady, because it's just a sibling rivalry, and the lady is missing Croker and Croker's missing the lady, and the lady is trying to gets involved in a completely new plot. So ignore everything that went on in the first book of the Book of the South. This is a brand new plot for the Book of the South. This time they've got Kina, which is the goddess of death, and the lady gets involved with a religious group called the Deceivers, who are trying to bring around Kina, and she's trying to use the Deceivers to further her own plot and reasons. At this point, the lady's reasons seem to be Croker and some other things. And the Deceivers are trying to use the lady to basically bring Kina back into the world. The lady is aware of this and is going, haha, you'll never do it, yada yada yada. The Croker side of the story is that he's been basically kidnapped by Soulcatcher, who is trying to wear him down with, the lady's a bad person, you shouldn't love her. And yes, the lady is a bad person. We saw that in the first 3 books. She's definitely not a good person. But Croker's still in love with her, regardless of all that. And it's one of these loves where it's like, you only get in fantasy novels. Like, yeah, she may have killed millions of people, and she may have been darkness incarnate, and she may have, tortured lots of people and kept souls and tried to bring about the end of the world. But hey, what can you do? It's one of those loves that you only get in fantasy novels, and this is the pulpiest of the Glenn Cook ones so far. The ending of the book is so soap opera. It's absolutely soap opera. I don't like giving away spoilers for books. I try not to do them in the reviews, and there is times when we do the whole spoiler warning. So if you don't want to know the spoiler in this book, turn the sound off, and when I do you can turn the sound back on again. Deal? Deal. Right. 3, 2, 1. Right. Okay. At the end of the book, the lady discovers that she is pregnant with Croker's child, and the Deceivers came and steal the baby. Pretty much. They're after the baby all along. They weren't actually after the lady, and the lady was fooled. Now, this is just straight up soap opera territory at this point, because now they're not just fighting for. They found another cause to fight for, because in the first book of. Welcome back. Right. So, without that spoiler, basically what the spoiler means is that the Lady and Croaker have found a new cause to fight for. Because up until this point in the series, well, so the Book of the North, they had a point for the fighting. They were fighting against the Lady, they were fighting against the darkness coming back, yada yada yada. In the Book of the South, they had a really flimsy plot, which was to bring the book back, back home, basically, the Black Company going home. That's kind of, again, fallen by the wayside while other things have happened, and the twist in the book gives the Lady and Croaker renewed impetus for another book. Essentially, it's very much soap opera in that things that happen means that characters have reasons to do other things, which will give them more reasons to do other things, which will give them more reasons to do other things. It's a continuation process rather than actually telling a story at this point, which is really disappointing, because up until the Book of the Book of the North, the 3 books of the Book of the North were brilliant, absolutely fantastic. They told great stories. I loved them. The books of the South have been finding reasons to write more stories about the characters, and it's been when it was the Black Company, and it was there was multiple people in the cast. It's a book, but you know what I mean. Multiple people in the book. It was great. It was fantastic. It was the reason why the Stephen Erickson books have been so successful. The longer it's gone, the less it's been about the Black Company. It's more been about the Lady and Croaker show, and I think that's the most disappointing bit in this. So, should you read this book? Should you read Dreams of Steel? It's definitely the weakest of the books so far. It wasn't that great. I find Soulcatcher super annoying. I'm finding the Lady super annoying. I still like Croaker, but I'm missing a lot of the Black Company. I'm missing all the Black Company, pretty much. So, yeah, you kind of need to read it because it furthers the plot if you're reading the Black Company books. But if you're going to read this as a standalone, I wouldn't bother. I'd give it a miss. You don't need to read it. Even if you're following the Black Company books, you can probably skim this one as much as possible. Once you kind of know the twist, that's really all that's important from this book, and that's why it's not great. So, Dreams of Steel, not fantastic. The worst of the Black Company books so far. It is what it is. But, right, next up, Blake Season. No, it's not. Which one is it? It's not Blake Seasons. It is Blake Seasons. Or is it She's the Darkness? It's one or the other one. We will get to whichever one is next in the series next. I thought it was Blake Seasons, but it might be She's the Darkness. I'm getting confused about which one's which. But that one will be next. So until then, in 5 minutes' time, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. This has been Reading for Charity. Good afternoon.